Time to talk. Hello, everybody. Tom here. I hope you're all well. I want to ask you all now, when was the last time that you had a good talk? And when I say had a good talk, I mean, when is the last time you really opened up to somebody about how you feel? Because I think even now, in the year 2024, there is a huge stigma, particularly if you're a man, about talking about your feelings. And one of the reasons male suicide is perhaps so high is that there's this inherent thing that we cannot express ourselves, or we feel the need to bottle up emotions for fear of judgment. Now, I, perhaps being a little bit more old school and perhaps remembering a time when before these things, mobile phones, think that the art of conversation is very much a lost thing now, and that we should be looking to talk more as people. Perhaps to the people we trust, to the people we don't feel we're going to get judged by. And especially when things are not going well. I haven't always been open about how I felt. In fact, at the height of my depression, I didn't feel I could speak to anybody because you don't want to bother anybody. You feel almost ashamed to burden somebody with your own problems. And I can honestly say that's how I felt, and I did clam up. But as I have come to terms with perhaps how I've been mentally and how unwell I was, now I realise that that was all a bit silly, really, and that actually I should have had no problem opening up to those that I love. But it isn't always that simple. As I said, there is a big, big stigma with regards to men and expressing the feelings. And while it might sound a little bit 1950s or old school, men don't show emotion, men don't cry. And I'd extend this to anybody, women as well. Perhaps we feel it's too much of the thing sometimes to just unload how you feel on someone. Because everybody has got their own problems, everybody's got their own challenges. And ultimately, not everybody wants to hear what you feel. And sometimes, while they may lend a lending ear, they don't really care and they don't want to give you any advice. And frankly, they don't want to hear it. And I think that could be very off putting as well. But I'm asking you today, when was the last time you went and sat down and had a conversation with somebody, one on one? And even not just perhaps a conversation about your feelings, maybe just a normal conversation about daily things that have happened. Yesterday I went to go and see my uncle. My uncle lives around the corner from me. My uncle is a widower. My aunt passed away just over 3 years ago now, very suddenly. And, we've always been fairly close, me and my uncle. And when I go to see him, mobile phone goes in my pocket and I spend a good hour catching up with him, seeing how he is, asking him about the family. Then I'll talk about myself as well. We have a conversation, we speak about it a lot. And I really value that. And I know that he does as well. For somebody that lives on his own, as he does, I'm sure it's nice to have someone visit and it's nice to see. It's nice for people to relate to him in that respect, because my cousin, his daughter, she isn't always around to visit. She works and she lives a little bit further away. She doesn't live other side of the country or anything, but she lives a little further out of the area. So, fact of the matter is, I know he values me talking to him, and I value talking to him too. But whether it be just generally passing the time of day with somebody, or opening up about perhaps something that you're feeling, and perhaps the biggest extreme, having a difficult conversation with someone, which is always difficult to have the difficult conversation. There could be something somebody's doing that you're not happy with. It's happened in the workplace for me a few times. People have And we've ended up having a conversation because I've not been happy with certain behaviours of other individuals towards myself or for the company, etc. And then there's probably been times when I've had somebody had to pull me in the office, particularly when I was younger and perhaps a little bit less aware of what I was doing, you know? Well, when was the last time you had a conversation? A good one. One that was undisturbed. Because let's face it, this has ruined the art of conversation. People will much rather spend their time looking at a mobile phone now when they're sitting in a room together than talking about anything. Whereas years ago, grandparents, parents would sit round the dinner table and they'd talk. And even when they wouldn't sit down at the dinner table, they'd sit and they'd talk to each other. And people talking to each other, improving that communication. While perhaps back then there was more people hiding their mental health struggles because of the age-old stigma that I've already discussed. Perhaps the ability to communicate better was more of a thing. And if they could have somehow let go of the fear of judgment, then maybe people's mental health would have been better or could be better. Anyway, as Bob Hoskins once said on the VT advert, it's good to talk, and it is. And please take time to talk to your friends, your family, your loved ones, your work colleagues, maybe somebody you trust next time. And if you're feeling a bit low and you feel you need to get something off your chest, do it. Don't worry about, putting on somebody. All right, there is an element. You may need to have somebody talk to professionally. If it comes to that stage, I'm sure you'll be signposted. Or maybe someone may suggest. Or you can go to your doctors and they will tell you. Make sure you discuss things. That is my third and final video of the week. I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and energy spent on my channel. Thank you. Third and final video, as I said, please put down in the comment section below. When was the last time you spoke to someone? Are you somebody that regularly likes to talk? Do you value the art of conversation? Perhaps I'm a dinosaur and I'm part of a generation that still values that or still thinks it's good too. Perhaps now the modern world is involved in like smartphones, the internet and what have you, and messaging services, perhaps we don't talk enough or we don't talk at all because we don't want to or we've forgot the way how to. Please, if you would, and you like what you're seeing, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I'll be very grateful. And if you would as well, consider, if you like what you're hearing, giving me a thumbs up and a like. I'd very much appreciate it. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. Back next week with another 3 videos, as always. But until then, please take care of yourselves and bye for now.